Lethbridge.
On April 1st, the Prime Minister hiked the carbon tax by 23%. Every single week, I hear from dozens of constituents in my area who are telling me that they're struggling to be able to buy food, groceries, necessities. Food bank in my area has more than doubled in recent months. After 8 years of this NDP Liberal Prime Minister, he is just not worth the cost. That is clear to Canadians. So Conservatives have put forward a common sense solution. It's called Bill C-234. This government decided to gut it by bullying their senators. Will the Prime Minister choose to rescind and allow the bill to go forward in order to save Canadians a whole lot of money by scrapping the tax from farmers?
The Honourable Minister for Employment and Workforce Development.
Speaker, at the risk of putting holes into what they think is a good Tory story, let's look at some of the facts. 97% of farm liquids are exempt from price on pollution. Tyler McCann at committee, Mr. Speaker, indicated, and he is from the Canadian Agri-Food Policy Institute, indicated that there is no data to support carbon pricing and any increase on the price of food in Canada, full stop. Mr. Speaker, our Canada Carbon Rebate gives money back to more than 8 out of 10 Canadians. If they want the bill back, bring it back to the House. They can do it.
So fired up.
I'll ask the honourable member from Peace River Mackenzie, please, to wait his turn. He's an experienced, very experienced member of this House. The honourable member from Lethbridge.
No matter what this government does to try to distract, the facts remain the same. Canadians are struggling. They cannot make ends meet. And of course, it starts with groceries and fuel at the pumps and being able to heat our homes. After 8 years, this NDP Liberal Prime Minister just is not worth the cost, certainly not the cost of the punitive carbon tax. Conservatives put forward a very common-sense bill, C-234, which would axe the tax from farmers and save Canadians a whole lot of money. The Prime Minister and the Environment Minister put pressure on senators, bullying them into gutting this bill. Will the Prime Minister agree today to allow this bill to go forward in its unamended original form?
The Honourable Government House Leader.
The Honourable member may have missed my earlier answer, but I could repeat it if she would like. The bill in question, C-234, is a bill that the Conservatives could call any time and we could deal with and debate in this House. And while I'm on my feet, once again, I would like to add, and I perhaps want to correct something I said a little earlier to the other honourable member. This member could help a lot of Albertans out if she just get out of the way of the fall economic statement legislation, which doubles the top-up on the rural rebate, Mr. Speaker, 20% instead of 10%.
Mr. Speaker, after 8 years of this NDP Liberal Prime Minister, life has gotten worse for Canadians with higher taxes and higher mortgage payments. The Liberals' wasteful deficit spending left interest rates at 5%, hurting families with mortgages coming up for renewal. The banks are putting more money away for possible mortgage defaults, and this means more people losing their homes. We're hearing of people no longer meeting mortgage stress tests, having to sell their home, forcing them to rent, paying rent more than their actual mortgage payments. Will the NDP Liberal Prime Minister reverse his 8 years of deficit spending and implement a one-for-one rule so that people can keep their homes?
The Honourable President of the Treasury Board.
Mr. Speaker, it would be more prudent for the members on the other side of the aisle to actually vote in favour of supports for Canadians if they truly cared about their well-being. They have voted against the Canada Child Benefit. They voted against dental care. They voted against $10 a day child care. They also did not focus on poverty when they were in power. We have brought poverty down to 7.4%, while under the Conservatives it was 14.5%. Mr. Speaker, on this side of the House, we will always support the most vulnerable in our country.
The Honourable Member from Kelowna Lake Country.
Well, Mr. Speaker, through 8 years of NDP Liberal deficit spending, they caused the higher interest rates, which is causing people's mortgages to go up. Exactly. Families are slashing their budgets to just be able to afford their mortgages to hang on to their homes. And this year, Canada will spend $54 billion servicing Liberal debt. This is more money than the government sends to the provinces for health care. A dollar-for-dollar rule would fix the budget and bring down interest rates. This NDP Liberal Prime Minister is just not worth the cost. Will the Prime Minister reverse 8 years of deficit spending and implement a dollar-for-dollar rule?
He's correct. The Honourable President of the Treasury Board.
Mr. Speaker, on this side of the House, because we know how to ensure that we have a prudent fiscal situation as well as to support Canadians, especially in their time of need. We have the lowest debt to GDP ratio in the G7.
She almost said highest for a second there.
Historically low unemployment, Mr. Speaker, and we also have a AAA credit rating. Our upcoming budget will build on that work by putting forward new funding for housing, ensuring that we are there for children with a national school food program for 400,000 children, Mr. Speaker. We ask everybody in this House to vote with us. Thank you.
Bravo.